Yeah, hey everyone, this is Dwayne with GoodWorks Auto and Dwayne's Diagnostics. And I got another video to do about this AC actuator HVAC problem. And I've got my Power Pro hooked up here to the battery. And I was going to test this actuator, but little backstory behind that is I said in one of the videos or a couple of them the other day that I was going to hook up the amp clamp and try to get some waveforms of this actuator actually in action so that I could show that on the scope. But I had the scope and everything hooked up, and I actually could not get that actuator to actuate. Triggering the doors and hitting the recirc button and everything, that module would not activate the actuator at all. So I thought maybe there was a bad connection at that connector, and wiggled the connector around and still couldn't get it to activate. And check power at the connector, and it actually had power with my test light on both the wires like it had before. So not sure what was going on. It had power, and but it wasn't activating at all. So I thought that maybe this actuator had finally died after it, going through all that thumping and stuff, having to try to close that door all the time. I thought maybe this actuator had actually died. So I took this actuator out and tested it the other day, and it actually did work off the car. And then of course when I hooked it back up, the module did start to activate it again, and it did work a few times, and then it wouldn't do nothing again for, I don't know, I tried it maybe tried to trip it another 5 or 10 times and it wouldn't do nothing. So I don't have my scope hooked up now. I just got my power probe out here. There's my power probe kit, and I was just gonna show you, I just got my standalone amp clamp here hooked up, and I was gonna test it and see how many amps it's pulling. And I actually just tested it right before I started this video, so I saw what it was doing. And kind of surprising, it's barely pulling any amps here at all. But yeah, I got the power probe hooked up, and it's basically, kind of like in a way like a fancy pair of jumper wires in a way, but this power probe will do all kinds of things. So basically when I hit the button on here, it's going to send power through here on this green wire to the one terminal hooked up there. And it'll use this blue wire as a ground. This is the ground lead on it right here. So having it hooked up this way, it should spin the motor. I think it goes clockwise, and then if I switch the wires around, it should make it go the opposite direction, kind of just like I was explaining in some of my other videos. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well or not. But I'll hit the power button here on the amp clamp. That is spinning clockwise. Zero out this amp clamp here. I'll hit the power button again. So it's only pulling about the most it got to there was about 11 milliamps, which is not very much. But this this actuator is still working when it's hooked up to the door. It seems kind of slow to me. Seems kind of slow, but it does work. So should be able to show you here, switching the leads. It should go in the counter clockwise direction. Actually, I can't do that. Had that hooked up wrong. See, that one's got to be the ground. Then I have to touch this one to power. Which I'll have to hook up another wire here. Thought I had this figured out before I started the video, but apparently not. So I got another wire here to hook up. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I hit the power button again. There you can see it turns counterclockwise, and it was pulling about 16 or 17 milliamps. Kind of spiked up there at first, which is pretty normal. One other thing I noticed about all this is, or what I noticed about the actuator when I took it off is it only had this one bolt. It only had this one bolt holding it in. So I'm not sure if it had been replaced before and someone didn't get all the bolts back in it. But you can see there's a place there for 3 bolts, and it looks like at one time it did have bolts in the other holes, but it only had this one bolt holding it in there. So I'm not sure if it got replaced at one time. I don't recognize the symbol on it. I believe I've seen that symbol before. It's made in China, but I'm not sure what brand that is. So I don't know if that's original or that got replaced at one time, and maybe that's why it's missing the other bolts. But anyway, I just wanted to explain that little bit of background on this, why what happened when I went to try to get some waveforms with the scope and the amp clamp. It never worked out that day, so I figured I'd just show you how to operate it manually, and you know, another way to test the amps on it with just one of these type of clamps. But I'll probably still hook up the scope and see what the scope says, because I'm not sure this is totally 100% accurate here with this this big old jaw opening on this one. It might not be quite as accurate as it will be with the amp clamp that I have with my scope. But anyway, I just wanted to do a little video on that and kind of let you guys know what happened there, why I didn't get any waveforms with the amp clamp, and to let you know what else happened to it. But anyway, that's it on this one. All right, bye.